Let's go back and let's have a look at the history of the foundation. Pretty important because where we've come from determines where we are now and also helps us to figure out where we're going to go. Back in 1905, when Paul Harris met with the other three in Chicago, they did not have any thought about fundraising, foundation, or anything like that. It was a business networking meeting. Paul Harris was lonely. He wanted to make some more friends. He wanted to get some business acquaintances. And it took 12 years before anybody, Arch Clumph in this instance, thought about Rotary doing more than having business networking meetings. So in 1917, you see Arch Clumph said, it seems eminently proper that we should accept endowments for the purpose of doing good in the world. And when he said that, that then instigated what was known then as the Endowment Fund and has morphed into the Rotary Foundation. And the first donation, a number of you would be aware of this, $26.50. That was what the foundation started with. Not that much by today's standards, but certainly a reasonable amount of money back then. Not a lot happened after that, but in 1936, Institutes for International Understanding were set up. In 1947, now this is 40 years after the first Rotary meeting, that the foundation, or contributions to the foundation, started to get serious. Prior to that stage, as I mentioned earlier, the $26.50 got put in, but it took a long time for people to go, hold on a minute, we're not actually doing enough with this foundation. And it took the death of Paul Harris in 1947 for people to go, we need to take this more seriously. And so, as you can see, $1.3 million was put into the foundation at that stage, primarily in memory of Paul Harris, but it was probably one of the key things that kick-started more of the growth of the foundation. It took another 10 years before Paul Harris Fellow recognition to begin. It was set up to encourage people to put $1,000 into the foundation. As simple as that. It wasn't set up as an award. A lot of people call it an award and a lot of people use it as an award. It is, as its underlying intent, has an objective to get people to put $1,000 into the foundation. Now, there's some people who frown upon individuals coming forward supposedly seeking a Paul Harris Fellow by putting $1,000. That's totally not what the intention was. The trustees of the foundation wanted to encourage people and wanted to find a way to get us to put $1,000 in. So there is nothing wrong with any individual putting $1,000 in and receiving a Paul Harris Fellow in recognition of putting that money in. It is the way we should be thinking. Okay. 1965. So we've got another 8 years post the Paul Harris Fellow before the Matching Grants Program was established. And that still is, that's morphed today, I guess, and it certainly allows us as clubs and districts to foster projects throughout our communities. That same year, group study exchanges began. 1999, Rotary Peace Centres were founded. And we here in Queensland, Southeast Queensland, Northern New South Wales, and of course Brisbane, are incredibly lucky. We have one of, I think it's 7 Rotary Peace Centres around the world based at the University of Queensland. It's the only one in Australia, and it's close enough for any of you to go up and visit. It is a wonderful, wonderful way that the foundation supports bright, aspiring peace and conflict resolution leaders of the future. It doesn't cost the clubs or the districts any money to put forward applicants. They've got to be people who want to get out and are interested in peace and conflict resolution, going out to countries where that kind of qualification is required. The program at UQ is outstanding. The individuals that you might meet there are super outstanding. And I certainly encourage you, when you do see emails coming out about Peace Fellows, put some thought into who in your community is an aspiring peace and conflict resolution type of person who is intelligent and who might benefit from such a fellowship. We're not going to talk any more about that today, but I thought I would just briefly mention it. It's often forgotten, and it's often forgotten how good a cause that is. Okay, 2004, not that long ago, Every Rotarian Every Year initiative was created, again, to encourage Rotarians to put money into the foundation. Now, you've got two types of, I guess, under the banner of Every Rotarian Every Year, which is what we commonly refer to, I guess, 100 Aussie dollars predominantly. If you put 100 Aussie dollars into the foundation in your own name as a Rotarian, you'll be recognized as an Every Rotarian Every Year, if you do that every year. If you put 100 US dollars in, 140 roughly, 140 Aussie, then you will be recognized as a sustaining member. Again, both of those initiatives intended to help Rotarians, encourage Rotarians to put money into the foundation. So that's the background where we've come from.